So I did record a much longer episode that I thought people would like, but honestly I have not had the time to sit and edit the whole thing together. It's on not the most pleasing subject. It was about a particular anime and the subject of depression, but it was one of those animes where you wouldn't expect the topic to fit it. So instead, I want to talk about something I read last night, because I talk a lot about DC. I don't really give Marvel a lot of love, do I? But in an effort to try something new, I searched through my books to find something I hadn't read before but have been curious about for a while. And last night, I decided to try Doctor Strange. I've certainly come across him in other books, most notably Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, not to mention the Benedict Cumberbatch film of the MCU. But even with that familiarity, I was yet to dive into the Doctor Strange comics until, well, yesterday. So I read Doctor Strange: The Way of the Weird. It's the first volume in Jason Aaron's run and part of the second Marvel Now relaunch. Jason Aaron is also the writer of Marvel's Star Wars series. Given my familiarity with the writer and that the relaunch was intended to hook new readers in, this seemed like a decent starting place. I've heard before that a good starting point for Doctor Strange is The Oath by Brian K. Vaughan, but given that the point of the try something new exercise is to read books I've collected but not read, my choices are kinda limited. As a relaunch, the first issue works incredibly well. The book opens with an explanation page as told by Stephen himself. The explanation page, while not completely accurate, even resembles older comics to add weight to how long Stephen has been doing this, how battle-worn and experienced he is. This jumps to seeing Stephen in action, fighting interdimensional beings that have managed to infest the soul and body of a young boy. All the while we're hearing Stephen describe and talk about how he feels about all this, and how activity seems to be increasing of late. This is a great way to hook in a new reader, as we are learning not only about Stephen, but his line of work, how he feels about it, how weird it all seems even to him. It's kind of refreshing, especially mixed with this such a vibrant and intricate artwork. Through the first issue, we're introduced not only Stephen, but other members of the Marvel magical universe, such as Dr. Voodoo and the Scarlet Witch. I've obviously read the Scarlet Witch in other things. I think our House of M springs to mind straight away. We get some really nice foreshadowing that will pay off later, and even we even begin to explore the Sanctum Sanctorum through the eyes of a non-believer. The Way of the Weird trade contains the first 5 issues, and while it works as a great introduction, it's also a tremendous hook for a seemingly massive story arc coming up. The first 2 issues, both in story and especially in the last pages, we're shown moments where magic is failing or that sorcerers from other dimensions are being hunted down and killed, that these things are starting to infect not just Stephen but this world. It's built up slowly and alongside Stephen's character in the eyes of the new readers, meaning that after we have spent some time in Stephen's world and seeing how he works, we care that the fact that the magic seems to be dying. We can see the consequences of such a thing. At key moments in the story, we are treated to lessons Stephen has learnt along the way, most notably the price he pays for using magic. That he can no longer eat normal food, his body is host to its own magical parasites, that he may spend days ill because of overuse. It's phrased in a memory he experiences with the Ancient One, that when he was ordered to use his broken hand to punch the Ancient One, the punch hurt him just as much, that there is always a price for using force. It's the same with magic. This ties in rather well to the final story thread of issue 5, that magic is disappearing and it's time to pay the price. As a first Doctor Strange book, this works great. It introduces the world and characters, gives you an understanding of how magic works and its cost, as well as making you want to explore more and keep reading. The second volume is now high on my list of things to read. It's just a wonderful and gripping introduction to the world of Stephen Strange. And yeah, this has made a fan out of me. I can't wait to try more. So what are you checking out for the first time? What are you loving? Let me know in the comments. Till next time.